All right. So I wanted to talk about this because this guy is a prime example of how not to handle things in Twitch chat. Right? This is a prime example of how not to deal with things. Right? So
in Spanish, and it's
we're gonna
chef's kiss.
go over what he said real fast, and I'm gonna pause a little bit to kind of give a little bit of context, basically elaborate a little bit.
Curvy, where the fuck have you been?
So for context, this person, Miss Nerdy Curvy, is one of his active chatters, very active chatter, and I guess they went away for a few months or maybe a little while and came back, and he asks, and I quote, "Where the fuck have you been?"
Well, tell you what, Miss Dirty Curvy, you know what we're not?
And then she responds by saying, like, "Hey, my mother died, that's why I'm not around." And she said she might have repeated it a little bit by accident, like said, "My mother died, Lamau, my mother died," and then Lamau was in response to a joke he said, so she later corrected and said, I meant, my mother just died. Lamau wasn't a part of that, right? But, so, if he sees her say this, and by the way, he said, "Where the fuck have you been?"
We're not gonna talk about it in my chat.
You know, already horrible way to start handling this type of situation. Because you're not gonna... The best way to handle this is if someone comes in and says, "Hey, like, sorry I haven't been around. Tough things been going on. My mother died." Best way to handle it, say, "I'm sorry for your loss. You know, I'm sorry that happened to you. I hope I can cheer you up." Best way. Have a little bit of sympathy. Not what this guy does, which is...
Because it's Friday, and that is a whole big bucket of bummer. And I'm sorry for your loss, but we're not doing that in my fucking chat.
Just fucking goes like DEFCON 3 on the chatter for no reason. For no reason. You know, you asked. You're the one that asked the question, right? And he keeps going.
Well, okay, Mr. Dirty Kirby.
And this is her being like, "No, I understand your point, you know, but you did ask. You were the one that asked the question."
No, that's fine. You asked, so I told. No, I didn't ask you to tell me the biggest fucking bummer news in the world. I said, "Hey, what's up? How are you?"
You did not ask that. That is factually wrong. You asked someone, "Where the fuck have you been?" Dealing with something. Dealing with a horrible thing that happened to me. Anyways, they weren't lingering on it. They weren't trying to continue that conversation. It was just the thing that happened. They were going to try and move on.
You know what? Let me give you a little bit of a lesson, Miss Nerdy Kirby. When something really, really bad is going on in your life, and in a public forum, someone asks you, "Hey, what's up? How are you?" There are two acceptable responses. Good, and you know what? I'll make it through.
You are not a social guru. I'm gonna a quick tip for anyone on Twitch is streamers are just most of the time just as socially inept as chatters. He's acting as if he knows everything about social interaction and how to the perfect social interaction. And honestly, it is not his place to say what is acceptable in any sort of format or not, what is not acceptable. He can say what's acceptable in his Twitch chat. That's his right to do that, but not for everyone. Which is he's saying basically, if I go into any public forum and someone asks me how I'm doing, I can either say I'm good or I could be better. You know, there's no in between, which is not his place to say, because a lot of streamers have different rules on that. For example, my chat. You can come in here, be like, I'm having a horrible day. I'll be like, I'm sorry about that. I can cheer you up. Right? You know, big difference between that and trauma dumping. Right?
That's it. How are you? Good? Or, you know what? I'll make it through. Awesome. Love to hear it. See, there you go. Or Prom's response. Yeah, I said, Prom, how are you doing? She says, I'm alive. There you go.
Also a bad point, because, like, you asked the question. If you are so adamant about someone not trauma dumping or not sharing personal heavy news in your channel, do not ask personal questions. Period. Just don't fucking ask them. Don't fucking ask a question you don't want to know the answer to. Don't fucking ask a question you don't want to know the answer to. It's as simple as that.
Oh, I asked you where you were. Look, Mr. Kirby, I'm just subtly trying to tell you that unloading really heavy news in people's chats on Twitch is not like good etiquette. It's not the place to do it. That's all I'm trying to tell you. That's it. I figured this is a good opportunity to inform you. Heavy news like that, when someone asks, hey, where have you been? You don't need to tell them, well, my dog died, my husband left me for a younger woman, my house burnt down, and my car got stolen. So I've been a little bit busy. That's why I haven't been around. Because it's like, oh, God, like,
Oh God, I asked a question and fuck, someone answered it? Oh my God. Oh my God. Dude, not that serious. Honestly, at the end of the day, it's not that serious. And like, he's making it out to be a bigger deal than it really is. And he's doing this thing that I hate when people do, is when they say something, right? And then they claim to have not said it. So he says, where have you been? And then she responds, and he's like, I didn't ask you where you were. I asked you how you were doing. She's like, no, you asked me how you were doing. And then he starts getting like all defensive. He's like, well, all I'm trying to say is you shouldn't be doing that in people's Twitch chat. No, dude. No, you ask the question. Don't ask a question you don't want the fucking answer to.
Oh, like, you know, like, if someone asks, like, hey, what's up? Where have you been? And it's heavy, just be like, I had a bunch of shit going on, so I've been lying low for a little while. Got it. That's it.
But you ask the question. You ask the question. That's the problem. You ask the question and you go fucking full apocalyptic on this fucking chatter. No reason. So I myself had a tweet about this. I myself made my own take about this. I said, Mins really asked where have you been, then ridiculed the chatter for answering. L streamer moment. Which that is an L streamer moment. That guy is definitely an L streamer moment. And, you know, I'm not gonna bother blurring out his name or anything. I think the guy definitely deserves to get ridiculed for his don't go and attack him. Like, to be fair, don't go and attack him, but please, when you're a streamer, if you are a chatter of this guy, and there's a chance you are, keep your streamers like accountable for this type of shit. Because like, if I fuck up, just tell me. I will apologize. I'll be like, hey, sorry guys, please, just tell me. Don't go out and attack him. Just be like, hold people accountable. I think that's a big deal in things. So he said, in response to Nerdy Curvy / my reaction to the news she shared in Twitch chat while I was live. My apologies to her. That was a bad response, and I shouldn't have been such a douche. I was just annoyed at repeated trauma dumping that has been happening that week. My mistake. And you know, that's a fine response. That's a fine response. Maybe he could have elaborated, said, hey, this is what I could do better next time. But, you know, that's fine. Fine response. But then he decided to make a YouTube video where he does the exact opposite. Exact fucking opposite of what the Twitter post said.
I have something that I prepared, something that I've written down that I'd like to share with you guys. And it's right here on my screen. So if I'm, glancing from the camera, it is well known in my channel that I do not tolerate heavy news, drama, or trauma dumping, if you will, being entered or...
This is not trauma dumping, by the way. I'm going to tell you now that this is not trauma dumping. Trauma dumping is a different thing. Trauma dumping is when someone comes into your chat and is like, hey, Mr. Streamer Man, I had all this, this PTSD from this situation and all of this, former life stuff. I've tried to end my life on multiple occasions, and I just hate my life. What do? I don't know what the fuck is going on. That is trauma dumping. Streamers aren't therapists. What this was a response to a question. It's in the phrase trauma dumping. You are dumping it on an unwilling party. In this, you asked a question.
Dropped into the chat. This has been discussed and explained and made clear many times while I've been live over the last 4+ years that I've been on Twitch. I also have a rather lengthy text command that appears frequently and explains this in my chat in words, maybe for anyone that doesn't have volume on or maybe is hearing impaired. Regulars know this.
Again, not trauma dumping.
Information well.
So this doesn't apply.
Often, they know this. They see it all the time. So that's something that I want to make sure everyone understands. Secondly, the clip that this individual has provided was edited and chopped up to cut out a lot of the context and dialogue required, I feel, to fairly assess the matter as it truly unfolded.
Sure, you could make that argument. However, that doesn't take away from the fact that you just fucking screamed, went hard on this chatter for no reason, really no reason.
You've seen the edit, but what it doesn't show is that twice I didn't acknowledge her comments about the deceased family member on purpose. I read them to myself, but didn't react in depth in an attempt to simply avoid having the stream temporarily hijacked by this type of heavy, serious trauma commenting. It wasn't.
Again, you asked a question. It was answered, right? And she said she elaborated 2 or 3 times, which was her mistake, and that was within the TwitLonger she posted alongside it. I'm pretty sure. But she said she might have commented on it a little bit too much, which is fair, apologizing for their half of the confusion. But it's also like, you asked the question. That's the core of it. You asked the question and just fucking unload on this person. You could have an ounce of sympathy, just a little bit of sympathy to say, hey, I'm sorry you're going through that. I'm sorry about it. Hopefully you can have a better day. Let's just chillax, vibe, have a good time here. But no.
Until the third time that she brought it up in chat and expressed how horrible life has been, that I reacted to it the way that I did. One very important detail that I think I should share is that this individual has been spoken to about this before.
this entire point doesn't make any sense. Because even though this individual has been spoken to about this before, that doesn't excuse you from just fucking going hard on this chatter. You know, if someone keeps doing something, just have your mods talk to them in private. If they keep doing it, time them out. Ban them. You can do that. Instead of, like, throwing baby temper tantrum on stream. You know? About this. Hey, Mr. Streamer, just dropped by to say my week has been terrible. I can't say Wide Pep Omega Happy Champ Hands without biting my tongue. It's the worst thing to happen in my life. I just wanted to sound dumb with that message. You're totally right. See, like, if someone comes in my chat and says, like, I've had a terrible week, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna fucking go big baby rage mad on a fucking Twitch chatter because, like, for no reason. You know, I'm not gonna do that. There's just no reason. I can just be like, hey, I'm sorry about that. We can try and make your day a little bit better, you know? Like,
this is not the first time that she's
it's so
violated
stupid.
the expectation that people not share heavy news in my channel. Previously, she shared in my chat very personal, detailed, potentially triggering comments regarding a toxic relationship that she was involved in. And this was approximately...
Again, this point doesn't make sense because we're talking about, like, a completely different situation right now. Completely different situation. We're talking about how you handled this recent situation with it, not about the chatter themselves. We're talking about how you handled someone answering your question rather than the chatter themselves. Very, this feels like victim blaming, you know? Like, this is like, you see, they did this, they did that, they're actually in the wrong. Look, they're actually in the wrong. But you're the one that just fucking screamed at them for no reason.
Approximately a year and some months ago. And at that time, I did in fact let her know.
Yeah, exactly,
Yatsuda.
Yatsuda.
Entertain that type of commenting in my channel. Her and I met in Discord. We spoke privately and discussed her relationship situation as friendly acquaintances. And she expressed to me that she understood why I don't like that sort of thing being entered into my chat. We had an understanding. The frustration you witnessed in that edited clip that she provided is a result of this expectation not being understood as I believed it was. The frustration from having her argue in chat that she was, quote, just answering my question.
Because she was. Again, you ask a question, don't ask questions you don't want the answer to. It's as easy as that.
She's been spoken to about this type of thing before, and she knows full well, you know, she was a streamer for a time, that this type of thing is most certainly frowned upon.
And then, I've seen this video a little bit before. So, he doesn't edit this out of the video. He fucking thanks followers in the middle of his apology video, which isn't even an apology. It's more just offloading blame, you know, playing the blame game here. But he fucking thanks followers in the middle of his video defending himself, which you should definitely edit out. I don't know why the fuck he didn't do that.
Yes, I'm still counting the points. Firstly, secondly, thirdly. And this is where a lot of you are gonna fucking hate me more than you already do. It's not my job to take on people's grief or drop
No one said it is.
drama while I'm live.
No one said it is.
Big or small, seemingly harmless or not.
No one said it
It's
is.
just not my job.
No one said it is. You know, great take. Great take I saw from Infernal Omni, you know. Let me pull it up. Give me 1 second. I'll pull this up for you guys. Inferno Omni said this. Damn, I'm sorry to hear that. My condolences was all it took. All he had to say was, damn sorry, my condolences. Like, but he didn't. He didn't want to say that. Who the fuck knows why? He just... Why? Why do you have to play this, like, giant fucking victim blame game? Make a YouTube video about it after apologizing on Twitter. You know, after apologizing to this person on Twitter about your reaction and then posting a video about it.
It is my job, however, unfortunately, to have to repeatedly explain to specific individuals that they violated the channel rules and chat expectations to not share.
Have mods do it. Have mods do it. This, as far as I know, this guy is a Twitch partner with, I assume, some dedicated mods. There's a mod in chat in the video that was presented. There was a mod in the chat. I saw it. Go forward. You can see a mod.
Where the fuck have you been? Big, not doing ass, so I told you. You know what? Public forum. How are you? See, there you.
Mod in chat right here. Mod right here. You can have your mods handle it. If this is something that upsets you so much, you can have a mod handle it.
Heavy, energy-changing news or drama in the chat. Now, I understand that I was somewhat harsh and crass and insensitive to this woman.
Yes, you definitely were.
I'm sorry for that. I have apologized. I'm still sorry for it. I'm sorry for hurting her feelings and for being, cunty about it. But I'm not sorry for reminding her and others in the community to leave your baggage at the door when you enter someone's chat.
So he's basically saying he's not sorry for using someone as an example. It's so dumb. So dumb. The logic here is... it's idiotic. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. I just wanted to talk about this guy being an L streamer and how he handled the situation horribly. We'll move on.